All right, before I bring up Michael Kane, I just got to talk real quick about the guy. When I talk about that community when it comes to music, Michael really got me involved in all of that. And there's some people from the Boston music community here tonight, and I want to thank you guys for driving all the way out here to see us. And I want to thank the United Theater for letting us try this out. This was something, like I said, it's been in the works for over a year, and we're here. And this is what the result is. Also, we got some posters printed up over there. They're free for the taking. If you can hunt down Tyler and Mike, I'm sure they'd love to sign them for you if that's what you want. It's entirely up to you. But we're going to get to it. I'm going to bring up my good friend. We really are friends. Michael Kane.
All right. Whew. This will be a fun night. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Well, the leaves from there, they cannot feel me shaking. And the leaves from there, you can't see who I am. Oh, but I can pace this room when no one's looking, or I can hide from them when they can. Take the car and drive into the darkness, 'cause this darkness feels just like home to me. Oh, but I can pace this town like no one's business, 'cause this town is where only you feel free. I'm like a deer in the headlights, like a loser of a title fight, like the writing on the bathroom stove, like the winter waiting for the fall. Torn antennas on the radio, a full tank of gas with nowhere to go, like a tattered old worn out shoe, like the distance between me and you, like the distance between me and you, like the distance between me and you. Like a deer in the headlights, like a loser of a title fight, like the writing on the bathroom stove, like the wind waiting for the fall. Torn antennas on the radio, full tank of gas with nowhere to go, like a tattered old worn out shoe, like the distance between me and you, like the distance between me and you, like the distance between me and you. Hey, thanks everybody. Hope that sounds okay out there. Before I play another one, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. You guys could be anywhere on a Saturday night and you're spending it with us, and it means the world to myself, and I'm sure I can speak for Tyler when I say that. So thanks again for coming out. The way you wear that hair makes me think of London. The way you toss and turn all night to the sound of the radio. Playing fake rain bouncing off the walls is more fun than trying to forget everything you ought to know. You can only backtrack so far before you get lost. With so many dreams you can't keep up, no matter what the cost. You can only run so long before you'll run forever. And it's all over now, but the weather. And it's all over now, but the weather. Walk into a jukebox with $1, trying to play that last sad song that you'll ever know. Still the way you wear that hat makes me think of London. On and I was Sam Cooke on the radio, on the radio, on the radio. You can only run so long before you'll run forever. And it's all over now, but the weather. And the way you wear that hat makes me think of London. Woo! Thanks everybody.
All right. Does this work?
This is nice. Can everybody hear us?
I don't know. Can you hear us? All right. I see a thumbs up. We're
Testing. Oh, cool. Whoa.
We're good.
Yeah. This is nice. I like this.
Hey, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, it's way better than Zoom.
It is better than Zoom.
Yeah, this is people in a room together. Yeah.
So when this idea came about, Michael was kind enough to be like, "Yeah, I'll be your guinea pig for that." But before that, it was a little give and take. He said, "But you got to let me play a show at your house." I said, "All right, we'll do a show at my house." And I didn't realize 20 people would be showing up to my house. It was a good time though, and like that's kind of what the whole vibe of this was. You know, when I thought of this idea, we're sitting in some comfy chairs, pretty comfy chairs.
Yeah.
It kind of matches your shirt. I like that.
Yeah, right.
And but what I really want to do right now, Mike, is just like. I want to talk to you. The reason why I want Michael Kane to do this first one is because not only is he a fantastic storyteller, and we're going to get to all that, his story of his journey through music is equally important, I think, especially for people who maybe think they can't do this for whatever reason, you know. So let's just give a brief little history, about you growing up and listening to music and your influences there.
Yeah. Well, growing up, music was always around, and I think it's. I don't even think it's a generational thing when I say this, but like, you eventually somehow just stumble upon the Beatles. Like I think like everybody does. Like whether you're in your 70s or whether you're in your teens, like you just stumble on the Beatles. It's just like they're just there. They're just like folklore. They're just there for the taking. And ever since that, I've been just hooked on music. And it's really funny because like if you have friends that don't play guitar, they look at you like, how the fuck do you play? How do you play one of those? Like, how do you do that?
That's how I look at you every time.
Every time. And when you're a kid and you don't know how to play, you're just like, I can't wrap my brain around even like teaching myself how to do this. But then when you grow up, and then all of a sudden there's like punk rock bands, and you're like, I can't play Beatles songs, but I can learn how to do that.
Yeah.
So I feel like you learn 3 chords, and then you can.
Go from there.
You can go from there, yeah.
So I know there was a time frame where you had a band with your cousin, and then you had to stop playing music.
Yeah, well, it's not that I had to stop.
You didn't have to stop.
It's not that I had to stop.
You chose to stop.
Yeah, it's like, when you're a teenager and you're just like banging it around in the garage and like it's with your friends, it's super fun. And then when you turn into adults and like, you have a kid on the way, like I have a son. I had a son at the time, and I still do, but at the time I had a newborn. And it was like, you just can't just be on the road and just like doing that. So I just felt like, I feel like now you can. People do it all the time. But back then I felt like you can't just like do that and like also be a responsible adult. So I stopped essentially, but I always kept writing songs. And then in like the late 90s, I was in a bunch of bands with my cousin. And he passed away right before we sort of picked up the Morning Afters. And it was really weird because he was in every band I've like ever been in. So it was like, when he was gone, it was kind of like, all right, I guess I'm just never going to do this again. Because like, how would I do it? If he's not in the band, like if I can't look around and see him playing drums, like why am I even, what's the point?
Right.
Like, what's the point? So then, by chance, I met my guitar player. He was fixing a guitar of my cousin's, and he's like, we should do these songs. These are good songs. And after that, he just sort of pushed me into it.
All right, so like time frame wise, like we're talking, you stopped around what year? 2000. And you started playing music again?
2016.
2016, yes. You decided.
That's a good break, right?
Yeah.
That's like now people just say they're on hiatus.
Yeah.
Like my band's on, but do people go
I like
on
sabbatical.
hiatus?
I like using the word sabbatical more.
Yeah, it's funny when the Beatles broke up. If they ever knew that there could be a hiatus,
right?
Like you'd have more Beatle albums, but instead they're like, no, we just have to end this shit.
Yeah.
We just have to stop being the Beatles. And again, I don't know if solo people are on hiatus, but I guess they can be equally on hiatus. But yeah, then in 2016 we decided to give it a shot, give it a swing,
And here we are.
And here we are.
Here we are.
In Westerly, Rhode Island.
That's it.
Yeah.
At the United Theater.
I know. Wow.
Island.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And he's being a little humble with some of this stuff. Like, you put out 2 EPs, then you put out a full-length record that came out in 2021.
Yep.
And we're gonna get into all that stuff too. But it's an amazing thing to be able to leave something for so long and then come back and just start all over again and at the caliber that you're at this point. So
well, I mean, I think everybody with a certain level of OCD and narcissism can like just have all the songs ready, being like, I'll use these one day, and you just keep them in a notebook.
Yeah.
And you have them, and then one day you have a band and songs. I already have the songs. I've been writing these for 20 years. I have a notebook.
Let's hear a couple more of those songs.
All right. So the first song I'm going to do is called Tear Us World Apart, and it's the first song on our new record. And so it's essentially about growing up, wanting to be in a band, and then realizing when you finally have that band together, you have the thoughts that go through your head like, am I too old to be doing this? Like, should I really be like I have arthritis in both of my ankles, and like there's times I get off stage and I'm just like creaking around. Like it's just, am I too old to do this? So that's what that song's about. So let's
get to it.
Let's do that. Are you gonna hang here?
I'm gonna hang here, dude.
This is pressure.
Yeah.
I know, I really can. This is pressure. All right.
So I don't get the urge to sing along.
I'm gonna tune that up real quick. So again, big props to the United Theater here. Most places, there's not a lot of places like this around, to be fair. I mean, I can speak for my fellow musicians in the room where it's just like, you have to travel far and wide to get places like this. So, man, I'm jealous of the people in this room that are from this town that have this wonderful thing going on. So here we go here. begin all these songs with an I don't give a fuck start. With an I don't give a fuck start. I'll begin all these songs with an I don't give a fuck start. With an I don't give a fuck start. And all the older ones who tear this world apart. And all the other words, the same old songs about breaking each other's hearts. And all the older ones who tear this world apart. I'll begin with a sad song, and my radio dial's glowing on my bedroom wall. When I was young, I'd hear that screaming late at night, and I'd wonder what the other kids are hearing on the other side. And all the older ones who tear this world apart. And all the other words are just the same old songs about breaking each other's hearts. All the older ones who tear this world apart. Sometimes life is like that celebrity biopic, but nothing ever really comes of it. When you always think you have that shot, till you look, you're the last on the line, waiting there to hear them scream cut scene. And all the older ones who tear this world apart. And all the other words, just the same old songs about breaking each other's hearts. And all the older ones who tear this world apart. Woo, thanks, everybody. Cool. All right. Thank you. So, we put out our very first 7-inch in 2017. And I had no intention on ever really putting out music. And the label that we're friends with the guy who put the guy that has a record label that has all the money, they put out the records. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to release that for you. And we were just pretty baffled that anybody would want to even put our music out. So I wrote this song about my father, and I wrote it years before he passed away, about maybe the struggles that we had. And, because I think it would, everybody might be in that situation about not seeing eye to eye with the person who raised you, and realizing that when you look back on it and you do the math, you're like, I'm 45 now, and you're like, man, my parents were in their 20s when I was a kid, and they were just fucking, how the fuck do we do this? Holy shit. So as an adult, you have more perspective, I think, looking back on it. And so I wrote this for my father. I probably wrote it when I was in my 20s, but he passed away probably about 10 years ago, and we never ever got along. But it's something about when somebody's dying, and you really see who they actually really are. And they're really just like a frightened person, and they really don't know what the hell's going on. And so yeah, then you just magically kind of find yourself on the same page. So this song's called Old Men Die in New Suits here. We're gonna do it like this. All right. cigarettes and empty cans of beer, and all the same bad habits of here. All that shit about life and death and everything you fear. I've seen it all a few years back, thinking I may look past all that time when we were torn in two. And I said, oh man, die in new suits and old habits die. And I said, oh man, die in new suits. And I've seen it all around, but I don't know what to do. 63 is too young to go. Now when it's all about the pills and the smoke, the booze and the joke that we're all gonna go someday. I've seen it all a few years back, thinking I may look past all that time when we were torn in two. And I said, oh man, die in new suits and old habits die hard. And I said, oh man, die in new suits. And I've seen it all around, I don't know what to do. Hey, we got there. We got to the end. Thanks. That was a struggle.
Yeah. You know what was more awkward than that?
What's that?
I was just sitting up here.
I really just did that to make you awkward.
Man, this is like... Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly is. So I before I met Mike, I listened to his music, Laughing at the Shape I'm in, Insult to Industry. Both were constant rotation for my listening ears, and it just always blew my mind, the storytelling aspect of what you do and like how you write songs, and how you always seem to incorporate the radio in a lot of these songs, which is awesome. I think that's great because I don't know. It's like, how does that all work? Like, what do you when you're writing a song? Where do you start? You know?
Well, I mean, for me, the radio is like everything. Like growing up, like that's how you found stuff. That's how you found your new favorite band. That's how you. I mean, you can. I mean, I don't know if I can speak for anybody in the room, but like I'll hear like the weirdest song that'll just take me back to like a certain point in history. Like I remember exactly where I was when I heard it. And it might not even be like a huge song. It's just like, it just has that kind of power, I think. And as far as writing goes, it's just like, it's always like, I don't know if it's a crutch, but it's just like, if I can just incorporate like a radio in this, it just like makes everything better for me. Maybe it's too obvious. It's probably in like.
No, I just obsessively listen to your music. This is all a ploy. I just got so I could talk to you.
I thought
like
this was going to be cathartic, and now I'm like, maybe I do use the word radio way too much.
No.
Shit. God damn, I don't know. I don't think there's any more radio talk.
So does it so when you're telling a story though, like I mean, is it a starting point? You know what I'm saying, or is it like
sometimes,
or it just kind of sneaks in there and you know subconsciously?
Sometimes it's a starting point, absolutely.
Because it's natural. Every song, like it's a natural progression of when you hear it. You know what I mean? It's like, unless you're creepy like me, you really look for it. You know?
No, sometimes it's a starting point. It's just like you think of a line, and radio's usually in there. And I mean, you'd be surprised how many songs I took the word radio out of.
Yeah.
Because I just thought like this whole. I don't want to be the radio guy.
Is it a syllable thing? Like is the syllables in radio?
It's like the way it rolls.
Because you can extend it if you need it, right?
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue very nice.
Yeah. So one thing too, let's talk about the band a little bit. So the band is Michael Kane and the Morning Afters, and as I said, like I listened. I remember your first two EPs. That was before we met. And then we met, and then I got to, the album before I was privileged enough to hear the album before it came out, and it blew my mind how different it sounded, and you had new personnel for the most part for the band. So let's just kind of talk about the lineup, what you got right now, and because I mean it's you guys are great, you know, you guys are talented, and I want to be able to talk about that.
Thanks.
Too. So.
Well, I have to first say that I'm super lucky to have the guys in the band that I do. When we started the band in 2016, we've changed the lineup a few times since, and things just weren't quite right. Like, I always had a sound that I was going for, and Broke But Not Broken, the record that came out earlier in 2022, we went into the studio 3 different times to try to make that record. And the first 2 times we scrapped everything. So that was a lot of money that just went down the drain. And some songs that went down the drain just because I just didn't like what I was hearing. It just didn't sound right. So we ended up getting a new drummer, and we added keys to the band. And ever since then, it's been great. Everybody's on the same wavelength. Everybody comes from kind of a different sort of background, different angle, music-wise. So it works out really good.
There's something too where I've seen you in the band perform a bunch of times, and all different kinds of like vibes, right? At punk rock shows, for one in particular, I want to talk about, because you see, like, you go to a punk rock show and you guys get up there and you guys start playing, and the crowd thinks, oh, here comes a punk rock band, and it's not, you guys aren't punk rock, right? So you might have started there at one point, but this is where we are now. But one thing I've always noticed is that all of these younger punk rock kids are out there like dancing to your music and tapping along, and so like your storytelling in your songwriting is really hooky. Like, is there a method to that, or is that just how it goes?
No, I mean, it's just sheer luck, to be totally honest. Yeah. It's just like
talent.
It's just like, all right,
be a professional. You're talented. Don't say luck.
No. It's like you have a story, and you're just like, how do I make this rhyme? Yeah, that's it. How do I make this story rhyme?
You say that like it's easy. It's not. I've tried. But get you on a master class.
That's really it. I mean, like, you just look for the hook, and you try not to beat people over the head with it too much, and then you have a song.
Yeah.
And it's but like I said, I'm super lucky to have the band that I have, because it's a nightmare finding people to be in your band, let alone people that you get along with and you can be in like a van with. Mm-hmm. You know, like we just did a quick tour, and quick story, we were supposed to play Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and that show dropped out. So we had to finish up our show in Charleston, North Carolina.
West Virginia,
sorry. Sorry to everybody in either state. Charleston, West Virginia, and then we had an afternoon show the next night in Connecticut. So we got back to the hotel at noon. We got in our van at 2 a.m., and we loaded into Connecticut right before the band before us was finishing. So yeah, it was a 12-hour drive through the mountains, and but you do it because you love it. And God bless my keyboard player Joe. He did all the driving, and we asked him, and he was just driving. We're like, Joe, let one of us drive. He said, no, I can do it. I'm like, and then we got to the venue. He had like this 1,000-yard stare. Like he looked like he just like came home from Vietnam. Like he had this stare like shell-shocked. Yeah. Then he got on stage and some of his shit wasn't working. I thought like it was all
that's it. It's gonna happen. Yeah.
But Joe's a sweetheart. One real quick story. One time we were playing in Asbury Park, and we take turns guarding the merch table. So we're in the green room, and Joe comes to me and he goes, I don't know where the jug went. And I go, Joe, what are you what jug? And he goes, oh, there was a jug full of money on the merch table that people were buying stuff, and I was having them put the money in the jug. I go, Joe, we don't use a jug.
Oh.
There was a lady like going around for like a raffle or something or other who just happened to put the money jar down. So Joe put all of our money into the jug, and then the lady just came by and took her jug and just left with all of our money.
Michael Kane in the Morning After is giving back to a charitable cause.
I mean, to be fair, I'm just saying it was a charity now when I'm telling the story, because I just feel like I feel like that's what we should do.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my two tour stories.
Make sure you guys put my jug over there at the table for later. Yeah, it's your turn. Get up.
I was going to stand and tune for a little bit.
Oh. So I got to talk?
I mean, you can.
Oh, boy.
I mean, just to avoid the awkward silence like we had a little bit ago, I feel like we can do this, and then
I want to do it. Also, I want to shout out Hardly Awesome Media again for coming all the way out here from Buffalo to film this. Much appreciated. Christopher Chavez, owner of the company, is a huge catalyst for my podcast. He's the producer of the show. He keeps us going. We were nominated this year for a Boston Music Award, and it's solely off the work he does getting us out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you tuned yet?
Yeah.
I got to keep going? All right.
No, let's do this. So I mentioned I had a father. In the meantime, before COVID, I did one of these things where you like spit into a tube and you mail it, and I'm adopted, so I spit into a tube and we mailed it away, and then you get the results back. And turns out my birth family lived like 40 minutes north of me. And it was wild. Like, I have like a sister who like looks like me. Like, I don't know if anybody in this room's adopted, but if you are, and you've never seen anybody that looks like you, it's like really, really weird. And so I met my birth mother, and I met my sister, and I have nieces and nephews. And as I was going through all this, my birth father reached out to my sister, and she had only talked to him about 3 times in her life. So shows you what kind of stand-up guy this guy was. But he was dying in a hospital. He needed pajamas, and she brought him the pajamas, told him about me, and he seemed pretty non-fazed that I was a person and I was here still. And I was really struggling with it because she was like, "Do you want to go see this guy? Like, do you want to meet him? Do you want to put eyes on this guy?" And I kept like him, like what, like for what? Like he's, by all accounts, he's a little bit of a dirtbag. Like my birth mother said, not too flattering things regarding him and his actions towards her. And so at the last minute, I decided I don't think I can do this and meet this guy, because I didn't want to add any I didn't want to romanticize the situation of like finding this guy and having it be a thing. So I decided not to meet him, and then he died the next day. So I decided to write a song, because that's what we all do on this nice occasion. So I decided to write a song from his point of view, because I thought that would be a little interesting thing to do. So here's a song here. Up in the East Coast of Massachusetts on a sticky Saturday night, the moon was full and the house was dark, and I couldn't find a light. Try not to run and try not to hide, even though I've been so wrong. Just tell the people I tried my best, but I know that wouldn't last long. Staring at the cold night sky, I know it's got to be my time. But I don't even know my first kid's birthday, but I'm sure that she knows mine. Now I feel so all alone, and I wasted years that felt like days long gone. I think I did my best, but now what's best for you? And I'll go on my own, but my own is still with you. Now decades have passed, too much time gone by, and I know that I can't be right. As I lay counting the sleeps, I must be at peace. I might be alright. I know I hurt you bad as my hands beginning to shake, and I close my eyes for the last time. Now I feel so all alone, and I wasted years that felt like days long gone. I think I did my best, but now it's best for you, and I'll go on my own, but my own, yeah. And I'll go on my own, but my own is still with you. All right, thanks. Let's get a little bit of a palate cleanser here. Here we go. I got right down to New Orleans just after the flood. Hitched a ride up at the Mississippi River just to get stuck in the mud. Had to beg a truck down to Oklahoma City, got a stick and poke tattoo. It's a good thing you didn't follow me down, girl, 'cause I'm more lost than you. Take me down country road. I'm as good as gone, as good as bought and sold. Don't talk about forgiveness, don't talk about nothing at all. I'm as good as gone, as good as bought and sold. Oh, 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 oh. Well, I met that girl up in Tulsa, always looking to erupt. And she thought that flag was a bigger deal than the people that were lighting it up. Sometimes you don't see eye to eye, gotta skip out of this town. It's a good thing you didn't follow me down, girl, 'cause I'm more lost than found. Take me down country road. I'm as good as gone, as good as bought and sold. Don't talk about forgiveness, I don't talk about nothing at all. I'm as good as gone, as good as bought and sold. Oh, 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 oh. Tape squealing in the dashboard, sweetheart of the rodeo. But I keep trying to push this car towards home, but home is on the stereo. Take me down country road. I'm as good as gone, as good as bought and sold. Don't talk about forgiveness, don't talk about nothing at all. I'm as good as gone, as good as bought and sold. Oh, 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 oh. Woo!
On the fly, real quick, there's a Simon and Garfunkel song called Cecilia.
Yeah.
Familiar?
Oh, yeah.
So the song is about Saint Cecilia, which is the goddess of, or saint of music, maybe goddess, saint. and all the trials and tribulations that go with it. So it's okay when we have those little hiccups, like your pickup just stopped for some reason.
Yeah, it makes things real, right?
It does. So, but we're getting through it all. You know?
We're good. We're like a little more than halfway done.
A little bit. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Also, I want to make a comment that Michael Kane is playing a Guild guitar. And once upon a time, Guild Guitar, their factory was here in Westerly, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I love bringing that up to people all the time.
I was going to play a Martin, but when I found that out.
Yeah. So, all right, Mike, I got to ask you, like, as far as, so I write, we all know that, well, maybe none of you, because there's not a lot of people here I know, which is awesome. I like meeting new people. Hello. But as a writer, I know, like, when I do something, it's stream of conscious writing, it's called, or if you want to, I call it like instinctive writing, where I just let everything that's inside of me out on paper, and I try to make sense of it all, you know?
Yeah.
How, with your songwriting, like, how is the catharsis process for you?
Well, for me, a shrink once told me that, I think his words were, "You run in a very limited emotional bandwidth, don't you?" Like, pretty much saying, like, you're just kind of in the middle all the time. You're just, but in my head, that's not the case. In my head, it's chaos. So, when you're writing songs, you're writing like kind of what's going on around you, and sometimes you're not even meaning to until like the work's done, until the record's done, and then you're sitting and looking at it. Like, I was going through a divorce when we were writing this record. And, like, when it was finally done, I was like, ew, did I just make a concept record? Ew. Like, ugh. Like, holy shit. Like, no, I didn't want to make it, I didn't want to do that. But, like, the songs just string together, like, I guess.
And that's kind of how tonight's kind of playlist went, right? You kind of your set lists, right? You kind of weaved them in and out in this way.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Are you getting something cathartic out of sitting up here talking with me? Or?
Oh, dude, I mean, even if we're just eating breakfast, I get it's cathartic talking to you. Yeah. I mean, the fact that everybody else is watching is a little unnerving, but...
Good thing we're not eating breakfast then, huh?
What?
Good thing we're not eating breakfast.
No, this is good, though.
Yeah, so your album, let's talk about Broke But Not Broken, which is your 2022 debut album.
Yeah.
It took you a while, as you said. St. Cecilia was giving you some guff along the way. But I think one of the big positives out of everything is you found your drummer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we found our drummer, Jeff, who joined the band 10 days before making the record. So we had some hectic practices, just me and him, just me playing guitar, just staring at him. And he's learning them, and he learned all the songs. And then there was 2 songs that the band didn't even know that we went into the studio, and we just learned them essentially there. And he made the record. Like, his playing on that record, the rhythm section just killed it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One thing too, I wanted to ask when it came to all, like, you know, the record coming the record out and everything. The record is very much a Americana rock and roll, however you want to put it, album. But you can get up here and you can just change the way the string. I don't know. I don't play guitar, so you do the little doohickey thingies. Yeah, and then you make the strings go, make them sound different, and you can play any one of your songs, and it sounds like it was like written for just a solo.
I mean, that's all a very accurate representation of what we do. But I mean, every song I've ever written, I've written on an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
So every song on the record, although there's multiple guitars, there's keyboards, there's bass, there's, you know, Tear This World Apart, the song you heard, I think has 7 guitar tracks on it.
But it also works fluidly as a solo.
But it all got written just with an acoustic guitar. So, like, everything can be broken down into acoustic guitar. Like, sometimes I feel like an elitist when I say it, but I feel like any good song can. Like, you can break any really perfect song down to an acoustic guitar, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if it's not good in an acoustic guitar, like, I'm not going to bring it to the band. You know, I'm just going to junk it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, what do we got up next? We got this is the big push right here, right?
Yeah, so we have a block of songs that are all related to loss and divorce. I feel like I'm really just bumming everybody out. I wish I had happier news for everybody, but yeah, it's a block about kind of being with somebody and realizing that like you're growing apart from them, and you just keep telling yourself like you just want to snap out of it, or you want them to snap out of, but there's really nothing to snap out of. And it's like the old saying, like, sometimes you got to give up one thing to have everything. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I made that up, but I feel like somebody has said it before me. If not, copywritten. I took that. So yeah, so let's do a couple. Let's do a couple on that.
All
right. Oh, man. Every time I get up, can you edit that grunt out from the audio? That he's super out of shape. Just that quick grunt. All right, song's called Dark Nights here. Losing my mind, losing my breath from the start, checking my heart for a chance to see where this all went. Now we're crashing to see if we stick the landing, could just turn the corner or crash if we're still standing. Oh, we're still standing. And then she said, why are all your songs not like other songs? Why are all your thoughts not like all my thoughts? Why are all your nights not as dark as all my nights? We listen to the radio, always listen to the radio, hoping to hear that song, hoping to hear that song. We listen to the radio, always listen to the radio, hoping to hear that song, hoping to hear that song. And she said, why are all your songs not like other songs? Why are all your thoughts not like all my thoughts? Why are all your nights not as dark as all my nights? Listen to the radio, always listen to the radio, hoping to hear that song, hoping to hear that song. Yeah, we listen to the radio, always listen to the radio, hoping to hear that song, hoping to hear that song. And she said, why are all your songs not like other songs? Why are all your thoughts not like all my thoughts? And why are all your knives not as sharp as all my knives? Woo, everybody. Thanks. Yeah. All right. Home stretch here. All right. Oof. Let's do it. want to see those city lights. Sick, tired, and exhausted of the things that didn't turn out right. Some nights I just really want to go home. But if home is where my heart should be, my heart's almost worn out for you. Worn out for you. I didn't want to see those darkened nights, but sometimes I just shake too much, turn and hit the lights. Some nights I just really want to go home. But if home is where my heart should be, my heart's almost worn out for you. Worn out for you. Flattened tires and engine fires on a Friday night. Tearing up roads and tearing up seats at the back of the bus. Everybody thinks they're reckless and free. Everybody thinks they ain't you and me. Turn it around, baby, now. Turn it around, baby, now. Flattened tires and engine fires on a Friday night. We're cold and wired, running from the lights up by the stream, or losing our shirts back over Market Street, tearing up roads and tearing up seats at the back of the bus. The girl had sharpened teeth. Everybody thinks they're reckless and free. Everybody thinks they ain't you and me. Turn around, baby, now. Turn around, baby, now. Turn around, baby, now. Oh, 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 oh. Turn around, baby, now. Thanks. Woo. Thanks, everybody. When you're writing all these like breakup songs, you finally get to the last one, like the cherry on top. You finally write one like this, and it's like, you're doing the whole like, you'll be sorry that this didn't work out. That's not real life. That doesn't really happen. So, yeah, this song's called Done and Dusted. It's on a record called Broke But Not Broken, which I have plenty of over at that table over there. If anybody would like one, we have 12-inch vinyls, we have CDs, and we have cassette tapes. So that is me trying to sell you something. And the song's called Done and Dusted. You left that party gift on the table as you turned to look back at me. Said there ain't no use living in the past now, baby. I run faster, scared than free. And I know you don't like where we've been. I can see that you're freezing down there. But for Cinderella, it's good night, midnight, baby, on a train that's going nowhere. And tonight I'll just drive through the darkness, down the lights, down the old county fair. And you asked where to go, I said I don't know, but frankly I don't give a damn. When you find yourself walking down Main Street again, and you think you hear one of our songs, Just know in the end that you're full hearts again. I've been done and dusted all along. But then one of us said this was a good idea from the start. I had to take all my money, put it all on black. It's the same color as both of our hearts. And you can't finish a job without breaking or falling apart. Well, tonight I'll just drive through the darkness, down the lights, down the old county fair. And you asked where to go. I said I don't know, but frankly I don't give a damn. When you find yourself walking down Main Street again, and you think you hear one of our songs, just know in the end that you're full hearts again. I've been done and dusted all along. Just know in the end that you're full hearts again. I've been done and dusted all along. I've been done and dusted all along. I've been done and dusted all along. Woo! We're almost there. We're
almost there. You know what the hardest part for me this entire night is? Not tapping along to your music, especially because I'm sitting up here.
Oh, yeah.
People see me like, no rhythm. I have no rhythm. So
I know, it'd really throw me off if I looked over and you were just slapping away over there.
Give me some spoons or something, you know? Oh, man. All right, so listen, we're getting close to the end here, and I thought it'd be awesome to try, because this is the first one, right? It's always going to be a trying thing, right? If little Q&A maybe, anyone in the crowd?
I can't imagine
what
somebody's going to ask me anyway. You think so?
All right,
anybody?
now it's a challenge. Someone has to... yes, sir.
All right, we got one. All right, Stint.
Straight up around. Jason, when was your first breakout moment when you felt like you could sing without like being nervous?
That's a good question. Thanks.
Told you there's going to be questions.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I was saying today that in 4th grade I was in the chorus. And
Sorry.
I remember we were doing this Bruce Hornsby number, right?
Sure.
Mandolin wind, mandolin rain, mandolin rain. Thank you. And so I'm in the chorus and I'm in the back row, and I refuse to sing. So I lip sank the whole song. I lip sank the whole concert. Like I was just back there just lip syncing. I didn't want to hear my own voice. I didn't want to drill my own voice into the person in front of me, so I didn't sing. I was scared of it. And it was only up until probably like this band, like not 2016, that I felt remotely confident and understood my voice and how to actually sing. You know, because when you grow up, you're just in punk bands and you're just screaming and doing that whole thing. But I think it's up until like pretty recently, I'd say.
Yeah.
2015, 16, like right in there.
Now, what about like performing in general?
What about?
Like just like if you were playing a guitar, could you always get up in front of people and just do that? Or?
No. I mean, when I was a kid, I wasn't the type of person that would do that.
Yeah.
Like be in front of people and stuff. But it was really only until you start being in bands, and then you can do it. Like when you're a kid, you can do anything like that. Yeah.
Cool. Good question. Anybody else? We got one?
Yeah.
Oh.
So when you said you played in 2000 and then took that break, what did you do? Were you a songwriter then?
I mean,
Were you singing then?
I mean, I wasn't really singing too much, and I've always been a songwriter, but I never did anything with them. I just had notebooks, and that was it.
Did you continue to write?
Yeah.
For that gap?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. But I didn't actively join a band or start a band. I just really didn't have a desire to. With life and everything going on, it's just so hard. I mean, anybody in this room that has a band, it's like keeping a band together is like brutal. It's just brutal. Mm-hmm. So it's Yeah, it's tough.
Was there something missing that time?
Yeah, I was super jealous of my friends in bands, like, especially in the 90s when, like, Boston punk rock was really big.
Yeah, very
And,
popular.
like, you know, you had friends playing the Rat in Boston in the Middle East and all these clubs, and you're, like, jealous. Like, you're bummed out. You're like, I want to do that. But, like, there's also an amount of laziness that comes with this. And I'm like, I don't want to do all of that. I just want to do that.
Yeah.
So leave it to like a midlife crisis, me at like 40 being like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do all that and start a band. And
Some of us are late bloomers, you know?
yeah, for sure.
All right. Anybody else out there? No. Going once, going twice. All right, before we close out, Michael's going to do one more song. I want to thank everyone here who came and took a chance on us today. I appreciate that. I really do. Please stop by and grab some merch if you're into that thing, if you want to hear some more of Michael Kane's music. It sounds fantastic on vinyl. I know, so I have one. So, all right, I'm going to stop being creepy. Thank you again. Thank you to the United Theater. Thank you to Hardly Awesome Media. And Michael Kane is going to take us out of here.
Yeah, when we finish up here, come over and say hi. You know, you really don't have to buy anything. Just come over and say hi. It would be great to meet all of you. This is my last song. This song's called Carol Kay. Does anybody in this room know who Carol Kay is? Carol Kay is a bass player in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and she played on absolutely everything. So go home and Google who Carol Kay is. Like, you know, these Boots Are Made for Walking by Nancy Sinatra, that bass run at the beginning, that's Carol Kay. Anything by Sonny and Cher, the Beach Boys, that's all Carol Kay. All right, can you all just do me a favor? This is the last song. Can you all just stand up for me? Like, can we all just stand up? All right. You were down at the bar by the end of the street. The boys snuck you into the basement. While there's no match for you, you push right through. The guy handing out all the bracelets, and you always seemed a little low. In the backseat of those cars falling like dominoes, depending on the radio. Tearing through the speakers by your feet in the cold, and you feel, oh, like we can't go on. And you feel like we can't go on. Oh, everybody wanna be that song with the top down, the radio up loud. Everybody wanna be that song till the dark and the clouds all turn around. Everybody wanna play like Carol Kay. Everybody wanna be like yesterday. Those downtown kids take you up so high, and though you were totally wasted, you climbed on through the window, you could see that you were totally faking, and you always seemed a little low. In the backseat of those cars falling like dominoes, depending on the radio. Tearing through the speakers by your feet in the cold, and you feel, oh, like we can't go on. And you feel like we can't go on. Whoa. Everybody wanna be that song with the top down, the radio up loud. Everybody wanna be that song till the dark and the clouds all turn around. Everybody wanna play like Carol Kay. Everybody wanna be like yesterday. Come on. Thank you so much. Thanks to Trev for having me, struggling artist. Thanks for everybody here at the United Theater. Thanks a bunch here.
Michael Kane, everybody.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. Well, the leaves from there, you cannot feel me shaking. And the leaves from there, you can't see who I am. Oh, but I can pace this room when no one's looking, or I can hide from them when they can. Take the car and drive into the darkness, 'cause this darkness feels just like home to me. Oh, but I can pace this town like no one's business, 'cause this town is where only fear